I'm your host and medium, Angela MacLellan. Welcome to a special series here on Divinely Connected Podcast, where we will be featuring one-on-one readings connecting my listeners, just like you, with their departed loved ones. In each session, I extend a sacred connection where messages from the other side can be received, understood, and cherished. I believe that every encounter is divinely led, and through these intimate connections, not only do we open the door for messages from the other side, but we also invite healing into our heart. Each session serves as a reminder that our loved ones are still with us, guiding us, and offering their unconditional love from beyond what our eyes can see. Join me as we embark a journey of reunion, connection, and healing, where the bonds of love transcend the physical realm. Through divinely connected readings, we'll bridge the gap between here and beyond, offering solace, closure, and the comfort of knowing that your loved ones are still with you. I am Angela MacLellan, your host and medium, here to reunite you with those who you miss the most. Welcome to the Divinely Connected Podcast. I love doing these Zooms. I love doing group sessions because whether it is here in person or private groups, because it really showcases how powerful spirit is, right? You see different personalities coming through. You see different themes to messages. Sometimes we're in that nitty gritty, that complete heartbreak. Sometimes we're in validations. It really showcases how amazing spirit truly is, and how our loved ones are exactly as we know them to be and as we remember them. And when you're able to see spirit shifting, how they talk, how their personality, how they use my body and my gestures, and how quick I talk or how slow I talk, it's really amazing to me. And I really find in these types of forums, it really showcases. There is a thing called piggybacking, which is also extremely powerful in these settings. So piggybacking means when more than one soul on the other side is coming out with the same message. They don't know each other. You guys can be complete strangers. Okay. And so what is absolutely amazing about spirit is that they know everything that's coming out tonight. It is all predetermined. We're all here for different reasons. Some of you are here because you're thick in your grief. Some of you are here because you're a little skeptical and you want to see what it's all about. Some of you are here because you just love mediums and love being in the presence of spirit. We're all here for different reasons, but spirit knows what needs to be said in what way so that we can each take away tonight with what we needed to hear. And so whether we are having that one-on-one or we're receiving it in piggybacking, which means they will get together and they will have the messages come in a way that multiple people can understand, right? For me, it's words, it's work, it's like a jigsaw puzzle, and I'm doing my best to put it together. For you, it's a healing experience. And so your loved ones are with you. They are giving you the goosebumps, giving you the belly butterflies, giving you the tingles, giving you your signs and symbols, etc. Right? And so your intuitive experience tonight is a reflection of your loved one going, oh, this one's for you. Oh, make sure you listen to this. Oh, I'm connected to this message too. Right? And so they're very clever in wanting to maximize the amount of healing that comes through tonight. And so really wanting to validate your own experience and validate your own intuition as you have your own intuitive experience tonight, because we're all intuitive, right? We are born intuitive. My belief is that everybody can connect with their departed loved one. Just some of us get to do it for work, right? And so wanting to validate your own experience as you are receiving the messages tonight. I always like to explain how my gifts work, so you can kind of understand my process. I also feel like it helps people like with nerves. And so the way that I connect with souls is I connect with the love of the relationship. So a father figure coming forward, I will see them in a silhouette. They will stand above me. So it could be a father, a stepfather, grandfather, father-in-law, an uncle who'll play that role, your best friend's dad, whoever was relevant for you, right? They then will give me give me evidence. So they may go, oh, I'm connected to the heart attack, or, oh, I drove motorcycles, or whatever it is. Right. And so I always say there's a little bit of wiggle room with this. So if you had a best friend on the other side, she may come through as a sister because you loved her like a sister. Okay. We got to keep an open mind for in-laws and step connections. Sometimes they tell me, sometimes they don't. So I just say, have an open mind with that. I am mainly clairvoyant. So you'll kind of see me looking down and looking up, and that's just to have a blank slate for them to put the images on. They then pair it up with my other senses, feelings, gestures, physical feelings, memories, words, statements, whatever it is that they can put together to get me to say what they want to say to you. Sometimes, hopefully, all the time, they use my signs and symbols. Sometimes, really frequently lately, they have been making me work. So you may hear me mumble to myself, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. That's me telling spirit, I don't know what that means. Right. And so what they'll do every time I say that, they give me another image, another image, another image. So then I have 5 images to put the statement together. Right. And so sometimes it flows very easily, and sometimes I fumble, but we do our best to get it through. I do ask for spirit to only bring through positive things that are going to help you heal. So if anything comes through that makes you feel negative, it is for healing purposes. Okay. I don't predict death. We don't have to worry about anything like that coming through. I do only work in God's light. And so there's only going to be the goodness of the messages coming through. I know a few Zooms ago, a lady who made a comment of how I scared her because she felt I was talking to, like, the devil or something, which it doesn't work like that, guys. But now I add that into my beginning. It is only goodness. It is only in God's light. There is nothing to worry about. God would not have given me this gift if he didn't want me to share it and help you heal. Okay. And I do just let them talk. They know what it is that you need. Of course, everyone comes into a situation, or everybody goes into a reading with, say, an agenda or certain key words that they want you to say. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, right? And not wanting to take away from the healing messages that they do bring through, just because they didn't say poppy, or didn't say, angel, right? Whatever the keyword you gave them, right? Still wanting to make sure that you're not blocking your own healing with that. You'll also see, as well, as heartfelt messages come through, they're going to bring through validations with something that we know for sure. And so how that works is if we're having a really heartfelt message that I have nothing to anchor it with, right? And they will go, oh, but she has my rings, or, oh, but she has whatever. And that's going to validate that if I'm interpreting that correctly, then I'm interpreting the heartfelt messages correctly. And that's kind of how it works. And so we just jump in and we find out together what spirit wants to say, because I have no idea, although I'm getting real nervous. I'm getting real, as I'm stepping into spirit, I am getting very nervous. Okay, and I have my little handy dandy notepad here. This means, okay, that's interesting. I don't know what that means. I am going to start with, oh my gosh, she's making me so nervous. I am going to start with the female that's departed. She feels motherly to me. She had me write down Marie. So that could be connected to her. That could be connected to you. That could be her sister. The thing with names, we just take them with a grain of salt. What is interesting to me is that I feel like my foot is amputated, or there's something with my foot. Like, it makes me feel like my foot is missing. So I don't know if this is a diabetic foot, if this is something that she dealt with long term, or something that was towards the end of her life, or how we can connect to that. So can anybody understand the female that would be in spirit?
I
And then,
can.
okay, who's saying this?
It's Midge.
Okay, hang on.
My middle name is Marie, and my grandmother had her foot amputated
Perfect.
from
Perfect.
diabetic. Yeah.
Perfect. So know that this is her way of stepping forward. And she makes me feel like it's very significant that you know that she's here. Okay. In the timing of your life. Like, that's the feeling. That usually means you have a lot going on right now. right? And that there's a lot of changes happening and a lot of struggles happening and you're feeling isolated. This is her way of wanting to make sure that you know that you're loved and supported in this unconditional, non-judgmental way.
Okay.
Okay. Um, okay. And so where does the split or the ending come in for you? Is this like a job ending? Is this
Yes.
okay? So this is
Yes.
her way of wanting to validate. Even though the messages that she just brought through, I feel are multi-layered. And
Okay.
so not only supporting you with the changes with work, but just with multiple things that are on the table right now and her
Okay.
validating it by bringing acknowledgement to the change of work.
Yes, I just quit. Yeah.
Um, is it her son that's passed?
2 sons, yes. Yeah.
Okay. Who connects to the chest? Heart, lungs, chest, breast, or anxiety?
That would be my father, lungs maybe? He's
Um,
passed.
yeah. Is it his brother that's passed then as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
How does he come to connected to the sudden or unexpected? So he snaps his fingers, which sudden or unexpected, even if I was sick, I didn't expect to die when I did.
That would be my grandfather that died
Okay.
suddenly of a heart attack.
Okay. Just because he validates, because I'm just remembered we text last week about your dad, correct?
Yep. Yep.
So I'm like, oh, you have to give me another validation. I already knew you were there. And so this is just their way of validating that they are all together.
Okay.
Okay. It's interesting as well because I also do recall that I read for you in person at a Halifax Messages from Spirit event,
Yeah.
correct? And
Yep.
so even though I can recall reading for you, I will not remember what I said. Okay. So if anything that comes through from your father is repeated, it just means he wants to say it again. But he's the one that's making me feel nervous. And usually when they make me feel nervous, they have some apologizing to do. Okay. And you understand that? And so
Yep.
that would be his almost shame that I feel that makes me so nervous. Okay. And it's interesting at how it's like your grandmother came in first and paved the way, right? She's
Yep.
like, okay, let's settle those nerves. And then as soon as your dad came through, I got that overwhelming feeling again. And it's coming in another layer because he's saying that you have been doing a lot of healing on your end, right? And so a lot of memories, a lot of past stuff may be bubbling up. And
Mhm.
it is important for you to know that he is helping you sort through it. Even though he says, I was a cause of a lot of it,
Yeah.
know that I am able and proud of you to be able to sort through it and heal from it in ways that you couldn't earlier in your life. And
Okay.
that to never feel bad because now at before it was like you were fine with the anger and the judgment, but now you're seeing him more as just a person. And as we get older, we do that with our parents, right?
Mhm.
And he doesn't want you to feel guilty or upset with yourself for having those feelings and having them now because he still makes me feel like the anger comes up because it has to. The only way out is up. Right.
Yes.
And so a
Yep.
lot of the times when we are in these healing seasons and all of these experiences and traumas and memories start to bubble up, we go, oh, I don't want to feel this. I moved on from this. And what we actually do is jam it back down when really what is happening is that it's healing and we're witnessing it leave. So when it comes up, we have to go, okay, thank you. You can go. But
Okay.
what tends to happen is it's uncomfortable and we push it back down and then we carry it for another decade. Right. And so
Makes sense.
this is why, because I can hear you asking, like, why is this coming up now? Why am I thinking about this now? Right.
Mhm.
And it's because it is in this preparation for where you're about to go. Right. So they're showing me between now and September huge changes. And it's like we have to do all of this unloading now so that
Okay.
you're able to move forward in this new season that's coming in for you.
Sounds good.
Okay. And just know that they are all working together to love and guide you through this, even if it's rocky, because it does feel like it's kind of going like this. Right. And I don't know if it's just because I'm personally such an optimist, but whenever I like do my own readings, I'm like, oh, change. Oh, I'm so, and then I go through change. I'm like, I fucking hate change. Like, why am I always excited when I see that my life is changing and then I hate it
Yeah, sounds like
when
me.
I'm going, because it's very much like this. It's hard work, right?
Yeah.
And so this is just them reassuring you, bumps and all, you're right on track.
Perfect.
Okay. Awesome. I'm going to leave that
Thank
with
you.
you. You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
No problem. Um, okay. Where are we going next? Where are we going next? So I have a mother figure stepping forward. I'm just trying to figure out because they're coming as a group. So when they come as a group, that automatically um breaks my rules right from the get-go, because when they stand together, I cannot tell who's speaking, right? And so I have two males, I have a sister energy, I have a mother energy. I am going to start with the mother energy is the feeling. Where am I going with the sister? Okay, we will figure it out. We'll start talking and see what happens. Um, so I have the female that's stepping forward. She immediately puts pressure on my chest. When they put pressure on my chest, that means there's something of the heart, lungs, breast, or anxiety, something of the chest that's coming in. She's also snapping my fingers, which is my sign and symbol that that this was sudden or unexpected. Even if she was sick, we didn't expect for her to pass when she did. Okay. Um, Paulette, I see you there. You can unmute there for a sec. There we go.
Hi, I think you got me.
Yeah. So your mother, how does your mother connect to the chest?
She was her heart.
Okay. And
She
then how
passed
do
from
you
her
connect
heart.
to the sister energy? Is it your sister that's passed or is it her sister that's passed?
It's her sister, and they were married to two brothers.
Perfect. Whoa, that totally just gave me chills going up and down my spine. And that is why it was so confusing, because I'm like, why are the brothers presenting? But then I feel like there's a mom and I feel like there's a sister, and I couldn't figure out the dynamic. All right.
Yep,
And
they were always
so,
together, the four of them.
right. And so that's so powerful that that's how they're coming together and they're stepping forward, just the four of them, right?
Right.
Validating that they're all together on the other side. Okay. Mom draws a line from her to you, which is my sign and symbol, means three things. You're either named after her, you look like her, or you have the same type of personality.
I look like her and have the same
Perfect.
personality. Yeah.
Perfect. So know that when you catch that in yourself, you catch that glimpse. It's always kind of when we just catch a glimpse, like at the store window or something, we really see it. It's her way of validating being present with you. Okay. There's also this feeling of, I don't know how to say this. And you're going to have to use your own intuition to interpret it, because I do feel like she's saying it in a way that only you're going to understand. And she says that she wishes that she did more to protect you. Okay.
Yeah.
You understand that? And so it
Yes.
is important for, and to me, it was kind of some limitations, and it could have been just her generation and just her time, like, you
Hmm.
know, the ways that she came up and about. So there was like almost this limitation slash ignorance to the understanding, right? And so this is her way of wanting to take this opportunity to come forward and say, I should have done that better. Okay. And have been more in that sense of present moment, because it almost like I was there and then it was this and I was kind of worried about that and I was a little bit scattered. Okay. And so this is her way of wanting to bring through validations, even though I can feel that you understand it. You understand her, whether it was, like you say, where she was brought up, or it was undiagnosed mental illness, or whatever it is, right? She says, oh, she understands it, but she still needs to know that I learned from it and that I am truly sorry. How do you
Okay.
connect to like the little knickknack or like the figurine? Do you have something that would be connected to mom that would sit out?
Yes, she collected the little in the tea boxes. There used to be all the little ornaments.
Perfect.
She
Perfect.
has those. Yeah.
So this is her way of bringing through validations. One, not only that I'm interpreting messages correctly, but more importantly, that her soul is with you. Okay. How do you connect to the young male on the other side?
An ex-boyfriend, a boyfriend.
Okay. He immediately takes responsibility for his departure.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
right. Yeah.
So suicide?
Yes.
Okay. Because I have a sign and symbol for suicide. When they say I take responsibility, that could mean suicide. It can also mean like I was drinking, I was driving, was sick and I didn't go to the doctors. Just that he is taking sole responsibilities for the choices that he made. He even
Yes.
says, I couldn't do that here in the physical form. So he was not one to take responsibility for anything. right?
Mhm.
And so, and he
Right.
says, and that's why our relationship didn't last, because of the choices that I made and my inability to be able to own up to what I did. You understand that?
Mhm.
And so it
Yes.
is important, even though time has passed and he shows me water under the bridge, it is important that he does take this opportunity to come forward and apologize. Because he said that you only saw the good in him when he
Mhm.
couldn't, and that he
Right.
didn't treat you in ways that you deserved.
Right.
Okay. I don't know what that means either. But do you have like your husband's past or a brother that's passed?
No.
So when they come from the side, that is my sign and symbol for contemporary. So brother, husband, no, sorry, standing next to your mom. So your dad is your mom's
Yes.
husband. Okay.
Yes.
Sorry, that was my fault. Um, he also snaps his fingers. My sign and symbol for sudden or unexpected departure. Even if I was sick, we just didn't expect it for me to pass when I did. You understand that?
Right.
How does
Exactly.
he, does he, I don't know what that is. Does he work with his hands, or would he create something? It's almost like I feel like I'm woodworking or something. I don't know what that means.
Later on in his life, he just used to whittle with wood a little bit. Yep.
Yeah,
Mhm.
perfect. So that makes sense to me. And this is his way of um bringing through validations. He also makes me feel a little cloudy and confused. So I don't know if that was to do with Alzheimer's dementia or medication towards the end, and that's why he wanted to
Exactly.
validate, good, bring through the validations of something that came in later in life. Okay.
Exactly.
He also says as well, he goes, Ange, my life was learning things the hard way. Right? And so this is just his way of, he goes, but I learned. I may have learned the
Mhm.
hard way, but I did truly try to do better. Okay. Was
Mhm.
alcohol a part of his life as well?
When he was younger.
Okay.
Mhm.
And then he would have straightened up, because that's exactly what he showed me. And that he
Yep.
wanted to be better, and he wanted to break the family cycle, that type of thing. And he says
Exactly.
that he started it, but that you, Paulette, has really severed it. Right. And
Mhm.
so know that a
Mhm.
lot of the trauma and the dysfunction that was in the family cycle stops with you, is what he says. And he says that he is so very deeply proud of you for all that, because you lost because of it. Right. So
Yep.
whether that means that we sacrificed it or we lost relationships or however you interpret that, he goes, she sacrificed for it, but everyone will be better because of it.
Exactly. I
Good.
totally get it. Yeah.
Good.
Mhm.
Do you have like a family ring, or what's the bigger ring connected?
The
Do you have like
bigger
mom's
ring.
rings? Like if mom wanted me to say, "Oh, you have your mom's wedding set," she would just bring through like a solitaire. That's my sign and symbol for that. But this feels like it's a bigger ring. So I don't know if it's just like a chunky ring, or it's like a family ring, something that would have multiple stones, or how do you connect to the so the rings
I
come in.
had a daughter's pride ring, but I lost it, so I don't know. Like it's not here.
Okay. So this is something that is not that. Um because they keep the sign and symbol. So when they keep it, that just means I didn't hit it yet. And I still got to keep going. So if this is not connected to them and they're using it as a validation, then it's something that you already own, that you were just shopping, looking at, that is coming into your life. Okay. And so however we interpret that, just know that they say it just as a validation. I just said validate
Okay.
what I'm saying. They're showing me the chunkier ring. It could be costume jewelry. It doesn't have to have value. It's just their way of bringing through a validation.
Okay.
Okay. Who was sick though, but that didn't let on or try to hide their illness?
My mother.
Okay. Just because before she even stepped back, that she came in and apologized.
Mhm.
And it was a few things, because she goes, you know what? I said it because I was protecting her and I didn't want to bother her, but I was actually scared.
Mhm.
And so
Mhm.
this is her way of, again, taking ownership and not in understanding that even though she had the best of intentions, meaning like they try to spare us, but what it does actually do is prevent us from healing. right?
Yes. Mhm.
And it kind of stalls or steals some of her grieving experience. And so it is important for you to know that it was only from good intentions, that it was kind of fear fueled, and that if she could do it again, she would do it differently. Okay. How do you connect to the prayer beads or like the Bible?
I have both.
Perfect. So this is her way of bringing through the validations that I'm interpreting the messages correctly. Okay. She also makes me feel like that there's someone in your life currently that you're very worried for, because she goes, you need to know that I hear your prayers, and I feel like you're praying for someone else. And so it's just her way of bringing through validations, hearing your prayers and watching over and being present with you. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there like a what is that? So she keeps putting a blanket over my legs, which just means you either have her blanket or you gave her a blanket, or she was always cold, or something to do with the blanket.
She was always cold.
Okay. And again, just bringing through the validations, because it makes me feel like, one, I feel like you're very intuitive. I feel like you're very open. I know that you believe in life after death. I know you have your own faith, but mom says that you sometimes question if she's there. Okay. And so this is her
Mhm.
way of wanting to validate, even when you don't feel me doesn't mean I'm not there. Okay. Because she immediately put me in your kitchen and she goes, where else would I be? Right. And then she had me look out the window and see the bird.
Mhm.
So she brings the birds as well as a validation. Okay.
Yeah.
And sometimes what tends to happen with our loved ones is if they're giving us too many, like multiple signs and not any one sign enough to be, um, to kind of increase our confidence, then you can say to them, hey, I want you to just use this. Just use the hummingbird. Just use the dime, right? Whatever it is, don't use anything else. So just that I can build my confidence in knowing that you're there. Okay.
Okay. Mhm.
She also wants to, it's so funny too, because it's like she's done, but then she's like, oh, hang on. It's like she steps back and then she comes back. She's like, one more thing. She wants to thank you for the decisions that you made on her behalf. And then she showed me before and after the departure. So that would be anything
Mhm.
that happened medically and before, and the estates, the services, anything on her behalf after. Okay.
Mhm.
She also made me feel like it was a little bit, especially after when they say, oh, Ange, it was such a mess. That usually means it was either unorganized or that there was conflict and drama around it, or that it was just
Mhm.
a difficult time. And it's her way
Mhm.
of validating, helping you through that and supporting all of the decisions that you made, especially in that season. Okay. How do you connect to like the stained glass? Or something that would appear like stained glass, whether it's like that cellophane that goes on the windows that bring colors.
I had, you know how your window frost is up in the winter?
Yeah,
Well, mine frosted up and it was in the shape of angel wings, but it was gold.
beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful. So her
And that
validating.
weekend I kept hearing her favorite song all weekend.
There you go.
Yeah.
Validating, wanting, couldn't finish our time together without mentioning that, because you connected that to her. And
Yeah.
she's like, look at the art in the window. And I could see all the colors that it created. Right. And so
Yeah.
this is just her way of wanting to validate your own intuition, your own belief, because tonight's session and mediumship session should not be trying to convince you in my gift. It's not about me. It's
Mhm.
about you knowing that your loved ones are with you. And it was really
Mhm.
important for your mom to validate that and bring that forward for you tonight so that you can take that forward with you.
I'll send you the picture later.
Yes, do.
It's
Please do.
yeah,
I love
I
that.
still have it.
Awesome. All right, Paulette, I'm going to leave that with you.
Thank you so much. That
You're
was
so
wonderful.
welcome. You're so
Thank
welcome.
you.
Oh, um, who's connected to the male homicide? So when they say to me came forward makes me feel nervous, and then said I was taken, that either means they were taken, or we feel like they were taken from us, or we feel like they were taken too soon.
I have a daughter. She carried a very masculine energy, but she was murdered.
Okay. Um, and that would be exactly how I would pick up on that. So when I say, oh, male or female, I feel masculine or female. Masculine
Mhm.
energy for me has nothing to do with physicality. It's always
Yes,
that energy that they bring, that tone that they bring, the vibe. It's the
that's
vibe.
right. Yes, yeah, oh yeah, she was fully masculine. Absolutely,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. There's also this feeling of like do we still not have answers? Because she just puts all of these question marks around me.
Yes, we still
Okay.
don't have the full answers, yes.
I have no idea who I'm talking to right now.
Oh, sorry, Deborah.
That's
Deborah,
okay.
I
Oh,
can hear
Deborah,
my
thank you.
Deborah.
Um, it's so interesting as well because she doesn't want you to feel okay. How do you connect to the number 2? Sorry, she's bopping me around. 2 years, 2 months, the month of February.
It's going to be 2 years coming up. She's
Okay.
almost passed away 2 years, yeah.
Okay. So her using that as a validation. I said, please just bring through so that we know that I'm with you.
Yeah.
And she shows me the number 2. She also makes me feel like we're holding space or we're holding our breath, going, oh, once we get the answers, once this is finalized, once they're held accountable, then I can heal, then I can grieve. And she says, you can't wait. It's always going to take longer than we need it to. Okay.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it's not for you to withhold your healing from yourself, waiting till something happens that we feel like finally she can be honored. She goes, you honor me every day. She goes, Angela, she can't fucking move without talking to me. She tells me absolutely everything. This is what I'm going to have for supper. Do you think I should wear this to work today? Right?
Yeah.
Validating that she hears you. Okay.
Mhm.
She also shows me, okay, she restricts my throat and then she damages my body. You understand that? And
Yeah.
she goes, you need to know that I did not have that experience. Okay. When she shows me outer body experience standing next to her body
Okay.
that is being disrespected, and harmed, know that she did not feel that.
Because she
Okay.
was like, was very strong, very, very strong-willed, like
Yeah.
female, but like wore very
Yeah.
masculine energy. So
Yes.
it's like she'd take anybody on. So I was just surprised. Like I didn't even know how bad it was until after
Yeah.
she passed. So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now
Thank
she
you.
shows me multiple things that are done in honor her. So I first want to start with the tattoo. So you either
Yes,
have the tattoo or you're thinking of it.
I have it right
Perfect.
here, right on
There you
my
go.
arm. Yeah,
Perfect. She
just
also
yeah.
shows me that there is a whole like altar in your home,
Oh
meaning
my
multiple
God.
pictures, candles, little spiritual knickknack things. No, good. I got the
I light
chills.
it every day in the kitchen. It's a spiritual altar. I have crystals, I have the candles, I have the pictures, I have butterflies, I have everything. Yeah,
There you go.
every
Know that
day.
her soul is with you.
Uh,
Okay. She also shows me something done outside of the home. So when
yeah,
they put out a cross marker, that's just my sign and symbol that there's also something done in memory of her outside of the home. Okay. So she knows all of the things that you are doing to keep her present and to honor her. Okay. But she says,
yeah,
but you still feel like you're not doing enough. And she
yeah.
says, you need to stop. You were the most amazing mom that I could have ever had. And you are continuing to be the most amazing mom that anybody could ever have. And never feel as though you're not doing enough or that you're not enough or that you did something wrong that put me on this path. She goes, this was my life path. You knew. She shows me at 2 years old doing her own thing,
Oh my God. She
right?
was like, honestly, I used to say to her from the age of 2, you never gave me a break. It was
There,
just like, she was
there
always
you
like, yes.
go.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. She was hard.
Validating.
Yeah, yeah,
Validating that she knows what you say, validating that she hears you, and that as you continue forward, that she's with you. She also shows me how difficult this has been on your personal relationships because you are
yeah,
struggling and you're hurting so deeply that it is affecting relationships, and she does not want that for you. She says, Mom, you have to let yourself heal. But you
yeah.
feel like if you start healing, then you're saying it's okay, but that's
That's
not the
right, because
case.
I feel like I have to keep like fighting for justice for it. And so I'm
Yeah.
so disconnected from everybody. I just kind of live outside and I'm
Yeah.
disconnected from everybody. It's
Yeah.
yeah,
But
yeah,
she says, what is most important to me is for you to be living your life. In the meantime, you have to let yourself grieve and heal in the ways that are so necessary for your survival. Because she goes, she has stomach problems now. Since I died, her stomach has been a mess.
my stomach's on fire all the time. It just
Yeah.
burns so bad. I don't know if I have a bad ulcer or what. I just,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And
She's my
because
best friend. She's my
absolutely,
best.
and this is why she's coming through in a nonsense way of being like, you need to stop it. You need to start healing. You need to let this go because that's going to take care of itself. Okay. And her main concern is you.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
you're
I
worried
know.
about her and her injustice in her name, and she's worried about you and your well-being and your day-to-day and your physical body. Because when
Yeah,
we don't process our emotions and we don't process our grief, it will manifest into disease. And she goes,
absolutely. You're right.
she is literally making herself sick.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Who is it your mom? Who's the mom on the other side? Because she goes, I have the mom. I'm not alone. So is
The
that
mom
your
on the other, my
is it your
grandmother,
good?
my grandmother,
And she
not
would
my
have
mom.
been no, so she would have been passed. Your grandmother would have been passed before your daughter passed.
Absolutely. Yes,
Because
yes.
she shows me standing there and scooping her up,
Yeah, yeah.
validating that she wasn't alone, not even for a second. There's
Mhm.
also a very strong male standing there as well.
My
Okay.
grandfather. Yeah.
And he is also very, you don't want to mess with him.
No, no, he was a Libra. Nope.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
so know that he is watching, that he is there with her, protecting her and loving her. And them as a team is loving and guarding of you. And she said, Mom is so open spiritually. She knows all of this intellectually, but losing
I
me
do. I know.
challenges her faith.
I
Because
do because I'm
how?
so spiritual. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
so spiritual. I'm so open. And it's like with her, it's like I know there's soul contracts and everyone that comes in with one, but with
Mhm.
her, I just it's because it's me, right? It's my
Yep.
daughter. It's just hard
Yep.
to like accept. That's all.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, she's
And
right.
even doubt your own experiences because she says that you have seen her since she's
Yes,
passed.
I have. I have a few times.
Validating, yes,
Yeah,
validating that was real. And
yeah,
like I said, it is very common for us when we are in such hurt and in such grief that we question, oh, am I just making this up? Okay. Her validating, absolutely not. But
can
do
I
you
just tell you?
do readings
Sure.
and stuff for other people? Just right quick.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I do.
Because she
I
says,
do.
right, and that there's almost like since we lost her, that maybe we decreased it or we're not doing it. And she goes, as you heal others, you heal yourself.
I know.
Don't feel like you have to have it all together and be completely healed to be of service to others. As you share healing with them, you heal yourself.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's what keeps me going. That's what
Good.
keeps me going for sure. Yeah,
Good.
absolutely.
What were you
Yeah.
going to ask?
I was going to say just quickly, when I was away, I asked her for a sign and I went looking for a jacket in the mall in Calgary. I live in the East Coast, so I live in PEI. I was out in Calgary.
Yeah.
I went to looking for a jacket. Anyways, long story short, because she sends me signs a lot. But this was in the jacket. It says, and it was folded in one of the jackets I tried on out of all the jackets in Calgary. It says, from a follower of Christ. And then on the back of the card, it said, and that day I was beating myself up saying, I wish I would have been a better mother. Maybe, I don't know,
Right.
tried harder, but it says no one is here to judge you. You are loved, kind, and amazing and cared for. And I
Oh
got it
my God.
laminated. So you don't tell me that's not a sign. Like, you know what I mean?
Right? I
I don't-
have the chills from head to toe.
Yeah.
That is
So I keep
crazy.
it. Yeah. I keep it on my desk and I
Yeah,
look at it because I'm like, that's a huge sign that she sends me. But yeah, no, I'm always seeing
absolutely.
signs, but I have to just be like I would tell other people, you have to be open to understand this is everybody comes in with a soul contract, but it's just hard because it's my own daughter. That's
Oh,
why.
absolutely. Now, she also had me write down dove. So do you connect to the doves?
Yes. Yeah.
Good. So using
Yeah.
that as a validation.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
sometimes when we intellectually understand soul contracts and stuff like that, it prevents us from feeling exactly what we're feeling, or we put judgment on ourselves for feeling it. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And there's does something, and you know what? I'm thinking of a specific experience for myself where I really struggled with this because I
Mhm.
was going through something and I remember it just being so unspiritual of me.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
the language I'm getting at. And what I
yeah.
realized was that having that ability to express it. So for me, journaling only got me so far. And
Yeah.
it was one day I was just gnawing on it, and I was walking the dogs, and I was out in the woods, and I was saying to my guides, like, why can't I let this go? Why am I like a dog with a bone with this? And
Yes.
spirit for me was like, you just need to say it. But I would never say it because it was so ugly. Right. And that was so not spiritual of me and not what I believe and not with what I align with, but it
Yes.
was what I was feeling. And what I ended up doing that day was taking out my phone, going on voice memo, saying everything that I wanted to say that was completely not politically correct and completely
Yeah.
ugly. And as soon as it came out, deleted the recording, never listened to it again, it was released. And so what that taught me was giving yourself the ability to share it no matter what. You don't need somebody's ears to hear it. But for me, the journaling was limited. For me, saying it and having my own ears hearing it is what brought the healing in. So now it's my kind of go-to. If I have something really big, I take myself for a drive where there's no other cars and I just let her rip. Right? And
No,
so
and I,
let
yeah, I
yourself do
appreciate,
that.
yeah, I feel like I need to, because there's, like I
Yeah.
say to my husband, I'm so suppressed because I'm so angry and I just want to be able to say what I feel, but I haven't
Yeah.
been able to, right? So
Yeah.
again, like you said, journaling gets you too far, but I feel like, yes, like
Yeah.
just screaming it out into my voice and then just being able to like
Exactly.
remove it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's so much
100%.
anger. Yeah.
And let it out and don't worry about how it sounds and don't worry about if you really mean it or not. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And don't be so politically correct about it because what that's going to do is release it from your system. You're carrying it
Yeah.
and it's blocking you and it is blocking your ability to feel her. When you're
Yeah.
in this grief that is so strong, it is very hard to feel anything else but. And
Yeah.
to connect with spirit, we have to be in a very subtle and grounded space. Okay. So
Absolutely.
know
Yeah.
that this is her way of it because she goes, if it was me, I wouldn't have held back. I would have let it rip.
She would have, I know. She had no
Right?
filter.
Just
She had
think
no
this is what
filter.
you have to do to honor her.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
But she
Thank you.
just does just you know what? She leaned over, kissed you on the forehead, and she says, I love
Oh,
you, mommy. So
oh,
just know
thank
that
you.
she's with you and that there is nothing that you could have done to prevent this. But moving forward, she needs you to take better care of yourself. And that does include letting it go. Doesn't
Yeah.
mean that we approve it or accept it, but we do need to get to a point where you can heal your stomach, that you can sleep, and that
Yeah.
you can feel more of yourself in this next season. Like you said, first season, we're both in physical form. Second season, one's in physical form, one's in spirit form. She's still growing alongside of you.
That's
Okay.
right. Yeah.
And she is very much an old soul because she goes, I'm really the mother here. She said, I'm really the mom here, right? Which is validating that she's an old soul and that you've seen
She
that
is. She
exactly.
always was, and always very, very intuitive. Plus, she's a
Yeah,
life path too, but I just
there
won't
you go.
get into numerology. But yeah, very intuitive girl as well. So
There you
yeah.
go. There you
Yeah.
go.
Thank you. Thank you
There
so
you go.
much. I
You're
appreciate
so
you. Thank
welcome.
you.
You're welcome. I'll leave that with you.
Thank you.
Okay. Means that is. It's like I can't breathe. Is is there like a fire? Is somebody connected to fire or like a fireman? They just keep I can't breathe. So it feels like I'm filling up. So that's either with smoke or with water. So I guess a fire or a drowning. Who connects to the male that would be connected to that? The fire, the filling up of the lungs. Oh, do I see? Yeah. So the filling up of the lungs. Okay. Just unmute
I have.
yourself.
I
Kelly?
have. Yes.
Perfect.
Hi.
Hi. Who's that for
Um,
you?
so I have my father who passed from asbestosis,
Okay.
and he died. He's basically had it for 5 years,
Hmm.
and he suffered for 6 months, just taking his very last breath. It was just horrific. His lungs
Hmm.
completely filled up.
Right. Okay. Do you have how do you connect to the trophies? Did he like
Trophies?
bowl or like, is he
No,
validating it with trophies?
I was just at my mom's house today, and I thought I just want to take something with me home. I dropped my mother off today, and I thought I just want to take something home with me. And what could it be that maybe Angela could see? And I was looking at these two little trophies on my mother's bureau, World's Greatest Mom and World's Greatest Dad, that we gave him when we were little.
absolutely amazing,
I didn't take them, but I thought that would be perfect.
right? Validating that his soul was with you in that exact moment. And that he hasn't left your side and hasn't left mom, because he makes me feel like we're worried about mom too, right? That there's a lot that's happening. And it's like we're trying to grieve and we're trying to take care of mom. And there are all of these balls in the air. And this is his way of wanting to validate that he is with you and that he supports all the decisions and choices that you have made on his behalf and on mom's behalf.
His last breath to me was to please take care of mom.
Mm,
So I'm her primary caregiver.
mhm. But that does not mean that you don't get help. Okay? Because he said, Ange, this is so heavy to carry. Okay? And he doesn't want you to feel like you can't ask for help or hire help. He knows that you have mom's best interest at heart. Okay? And so whatever needs to get done and whoever needs to be part of the team, know that that is what his intention was. Okay? And he goes, "Oh, he goes, what a job." Because it makes me feel like your mom is like doing this. And then next you know, you're like, where are you? And she's like over there doing that. Right. So this is just his way of validating that he understands how challenging it is and how amazing job that you're doing.
Thank you.
Okay. And that you're doing, because there's almost this feeling of like, should I be doing more? Am I missing something? Am I missing? And it's like this fear, right? And even like, I don't know if you actually do like the dividing of the pills where you have like the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but he was like, we double check it, we triple check it, and it's just his way of wanting to make sure that you know that he knows of the attention and the heart that you're putting into this. Okay. How does the like newspapers come in? Like is there like newspaper articles, or did we like cut out the obituary, or how does that come in?
I have his obituary laminated.
Perfect.
Uh,
So
I
validating. Mhm,
carry it in my wallet.
good. Was he cremated as well? He goes, I'm a little bit here, I'm a little bit there, I'm a little bit over there. So you understand that. He goes,
Mom has
sometimes
him
I
in it.
go for drives. So do
My
you take
mom,
him with you sometimes?
my mom has him in a necklace as well. And when she goes, and she also has him at her house at the house.
Good.
And yeah, so he is kind of all over the place.
I love it. But this is just his way. There's no way I would have known that. Right? Absolutely not.
So
His way of letting you know that he knows of the decisions that you made and how you keep him close. But more importantly, that he is good with God and he is coming through with humor and laughter and lightness to show you that he's in perfect health. He goes, there was nothing worse than seeing me sick. And there was nothing worse because I was a doer. I did all the things. I was the dad that could fix it, that could help you with it. And then next thing you know it, I am stuck horizontal, right? And that it was so extremely hard to see the life so slowly slip away. And so you need to know that he's in a better place and that he is at peace on the other side and that he's free. That's what he says. He goes, I don't have that heavy body limiting me anymore. Okay. So when he shows me, moves his arms and moves his legs, that's my sign and symbol that he has his mobility back. Okay. And that he is able to be here and to be there and to do things that he couldn't do towards the end of his life. Okay. He also says that and so one, he's talking too fast. One validates being in the vehicle with you. So that's where you talk to him, where you feel close to him, where you ask for him to protect you, know that he's there and that he hears you. He also just slid under your car, which means that we either just got maintenance or we like got an oil change or we need an oil change. And then I said, I was like, were you handy? Were you mechanically inclined? And he goes, I'm just on top of those things, Ange. So he would be the one, oh, the kilometers are up. We got to get that appointment. Correct. And so this
yeah,
is just his way of validating, continuing to take care of you, continuing to watch over. Because he also says that you have seen him in a dream, that he came to show you that he is okay. to validate that he is. And the thing is with dreams, especially when they come to show us that they're in perfect health, they may not look like dad, or they may look like dad 50 years ago, whatever, right? It's always to show you. I say they'll come back as a shinier, newer version of themselves to show you that they have healed on the other side. Okay. Does your mom have issues with her legs, or is she getting fluid, or does she have, okay. Because she just makes me feel some pain towards the bottom of my legs and
Yes,
says,
yes.
you know, she's going to be okay though. Right. Also gives me my sign and symbol for medical tests. So whether you just had some medical tests or medical tests are coming up, he also takes my anxiety away. When he takes my anxiety away, that means the results are going to be either completely fixable or nothing to worry about at all. Right. And so whatever worries or concerns that we have, he takes it away. There's also talk about how beautiful his obituary was.
Oh, good.
So
My
know that he
sister,
is so thankful and
my
grateful.
sister wrote it.
Yes, and how beautiful. And it was like he was taken back by it, and was
Okay.
taken back by the outpour of love. Right? Like he gave love so freely, and family was like so fierce for him
Yeah,
that
good.
I don't feel like he truly understood the impact that he had in his community. Right? So when he departed and all this outpour of love came, he was like, I can't believe it. Right? So validating not only that the obituary was beautiful, but the services and how we honored him couldn't have been better, is what he says. And more than what I could have ever expected, is what he says. Okay. He also just had a cold breeze blow right by me. Right. And so know that when you get a breeze, when you feel like someone brushed up against you and there was nobody there, that is him letting you know that his soul is present. Okay. Mom feels him
Oh, yes, she does.
night and day. He goes, she knows I'm there. I lay in the
Yeah,
bed.
she
The bed
does.
moves,
Yeah.
validating that that is real. He goes, we
Yeah.
have breakfast together, same time every day.
Yeah.
Right? Lays out her clothes, like very routine. And
Yeah.
so this
Yeah.
is his way of validating her own intuition and letting us know that they're together and that
Yeah.
he's looking over mom, because again, there are these feelings as though you're going to miss something, or something's going to slide by you connected to mom.
Yeah.
And he goes, you need to know that I'm there, I'm watching. He's not going to let mom slip away without you knowing. Okay. He goes, but tell her when it is her time, I'm going to be in the front of that line. He goes, I
Okay.
love her so much. Okay. He goes, no one else would be there. And so there is going to be the foreknowledge. See, I can't predict death, but they'll tell me things about it. I feel like if we if mom is in a decline, you're going to get the call, or they're going to go, you know what? I don't think your mom's going to hang on much longer, but it's going to be like 24 hours. It's not going to be a week. You know what I mean? So when it's time, we're going to know it's traditional in the sense that we're going to be told the time frame that this is kind of the set, right? But it is going to be something towards the end that could be a little bit quicker than anticipated. Okay. And so just kind of keep that in the back of your mind, because you know what, to be honest, I feel like your mom is ready. I feel like she's just, you know
Yeah.
what? I don't have my man. Like, this is hard. My
Yeah.
body's working against me at this point. I don't feel like it's a raid around the corner, but I do believe that there is that lack of will, and that sometimes accelerates timelines. Okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he goes, but you know what? We live such a big and beautiful life, Ange. Like, we are so fulfilled, right? We had a
Yeah.
beautiful life. We didn't have all the things, but we had what mattered. Okay.
Will they be together
Oh,
when she
absolutely.
passes? Yeah.
Absolutely. He goes, we're
Yeah.
together now.
Okay.
There'll be no difference. I'll be there waiting, be like, all right. I just do want to acknowledge the young male on the other side. So did your mom have a loss of a pregnancy, stillborn, or termination? Okay.
Yes.
Because he's like, we cannot stop this dialogue without her knowing that I have him with me.
Oh,
Okay. Knowing that they're all together on the other side, and that they're reunited, and the healing that has happened. Because he just made me feel it from head to toe. And almost, I would even say, your mom has been feeling that healing, knowing that they are together. So validating because as they grow and heal on the other side. And as their reunion comes in, it brings healing to us because we're all still connected. Just because we cannot see him does not mean that we do not have energy ties to him. Okay. And this is just his way of wanting to bring through those validations of letting us know that they're all together, in that affects our ability to heal here in the physical form. Okay. Do you also have his handwriting? Good. Good. Because he just said we got to validate that with the handwriting. And not only the handwriting that is then going to be made into something else if it hasn't already, as well as taking his clothes and repurposing his clothes. Okay. So he knows of everything that you are doing to honor him and keep him close. He loves it. And it's so funny because I feel like when he would be here, he would love it, but more quietly, right?
Oh,
Just
yeah.
being like, oh, that's
Yes.
nice, right?
Yeah.
But then he's like,
Yeah.
isn't that dandy? Aren't they creative? Isn't that amazing? Right? And so he is really taken back by the amount of effort in the ideas and the creativity around what you choose and what you want to do to continue feeling him on that daily. Because he almost has me, and whether this is for you or whether this is for mom, I can hear him shuffling down the hall. Right.
yeah.
And so there's this feeling of like someone is picking up, either feeling the energy, seeing the shadows and movement, or hearing someone walking down the hall. And he's like, that's me. And he's so like tickled by this. So, I wouldn't say he was a believer in the physical form or that he would have ever
No.
went to a medium in the physical form, but he is so impressed with himself. Isn't this dandy? I just talk to you and you tell them. This is great. But like that would be his personality, correct? See,
Totally.
he
That is
is
totally
growing
him.
and expanding. He is growing and learning new things on the other side, going to a medium for the very first time.
I'm so glad I was, yeah.
Awesome.
He was very skeptical. It's so
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. Yeah. The truth always gets them, right? That's what they say. They
Yeah.
may not believe me here, but they'll be willing to talk to me over there. But that just shows you, like you say, how he is exactly as we know him to be. But again, maybe some of that stubbornness, any of that ego stuff stays here in the physical form. Our physical pain or physical suffering stays here in the physical form. And so he is able to grow and expand in beautiful ways. And he did believe in heaven. I just don't think that he understood how this worked, right? And
Yeah.
so he is very grateful to be able to communicate. And he even said too, he goes, I knew there was heaven, but I didn't know that I would have like full access to everything. Meaning like I'm in the living room, I'm in the car, like nothing is
Yeah.
different except for I'm not in the physical body. Right. And so he is very happy and at peace. Not only physically, but as his soul, he's very content and happy and at peace, knowing that he is so still very much a part of your family's life and being able to watch over and experience
you.
everything. You're so welcome.
Thank you
I'm
so
going to leave that
much.
with you. You're so welcome, Kelly. You're so welcome. That was the fastest hour and a half ever. Right. I want to thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope that you take away from the healing messages that came out. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you for joining me on this journey of connection and love. As we conclude another episode, I want to express my deepest gratitude to you. To be able to do this work, it is a profound privilege for me. I have learned so much through my connections with you in spirit. Thank you for allowing me to be part of your spiritual journey. And thank you for being a part of mine. Remember, the connections with your departed loved ones are timeless and eternal. May the messages shared here bring you comfort, healing, and a renewed sense of hope. I'll leave that with you. May you walk in the light of love and know that you are always divinely connected. I am Angela MacLellan, your host and medium, sending you light and love always.